you're given, even if it's not what you want. And when the ocean calls, I'll sail away from its wall until the winds will change and blow me back home again, home again. Be brave, little one, avoid yourself a smile. It's not all that bad. I've been here for far too long now to contemplate getting back. We'll sit in the garden drinking ourselves silly tonight. Wait around like the others for sunset which never seems to rise. And when the ocean calls, I'll sail away from its hold until the winds do change and blow me back home again. Oh, I've seen your better days. You held me at my worst, fit for each other in so many ways. Such a beautiful girl. It's hard to see how much you've grown till you look through the eyes of a child. Despite the wheezing and creaking bones, your luster will shine for a while. My heart, see it now, rise away with you. So you can fall asleep in my arms each night, where we always were, like the sun to the earth. The two silver hearts in the sun, to love and protect you, to keep you safe. No final thing this man could have. Come on, my embrace forever. I promise I'll keep it true. Please don't take your love away.
copy, so like, I apologise.
Stop smiling and moaning as you take a bite. It's not helping any of us. Fruit doesn't need that much attention. Here's a good question. Have you ever noticed how much incest there is in the Bible? Because there's a lot. Two of the main stories, Adam and Eve and Noah's Ark, imply a lot of incest has happened. In Adam and Eve was made out of one of Adam's ribs. Eve was made out of Adam's DNA. Adam was fucking his own daughter. Now we know where Who's Your Daddy comes from. And in Noah's Ark, Noah had to save 2 of every animal. So, when these animals had kids, their kids must have fucked. Same with Adam and Eve and their kids must have fucked to carry on their race. Now, I'm not against religion. All I'm saying is, if you devote your life to looking at what comes after death, you're not really living. You're passing the time. And we have Buckaroo for that. Play some Monopoly, play some Xbox. At least on an Xbox, if you die, you can restart, and you actually restart and not just become worm food. I know I'm depressing, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, having a child isn't special. You're not special because you've had a kid, and your child definitely isn't special, because let's face it, childbirth has happened before. It's been happening for years. I'd be more impressed if you couldn't have a kid. If your ovaries or your testicles don't work, then you can do something that not many people can do. So well done. I'd be really impressed if after about 4 or 5 months of pregnancy you abort the fetus and use it for various purposes. The abortion was very, very emotional for everyone. Have you seen our new doorstop? It's also the dog's favourite chew toy. We'll take the dog to the park, and then we'll get the fetus and put its leg in one hand and its head in the other and slingshot the bastard. It's his favourite thing to do. I'd be really impressed if you used it for mood lighting. What you do is you stretch out what would have been its anus and put it over the bedroom light. And it gives off a romantic shade of pink. Children of the future is a crock of shit. Adults are the present, and we need to sort out our fucking priorities. Alright, let's step back from the grimness for a while and have a look at language. Because there are certain phrases that we use every day that when you take them seriously, they're just really stupid. I'm going to catch a bus. How? How are you going to catch a bus? Are you going to stand in the middle of the road with your arms and legs apart, bracing for impact? Are there buses in the wild? Are you hunting them for their tyres? Are the double-deckers ganging up on the single-deckers, fighting over a dead bit of taxi? Blow out the candle for the more romantic times. Fetus mood lighting optional. Blow out the candle. Are you telling me that there's people out there who could blow out the candle and have the flame still lit in mid-air? Because that's impressive. That's a hell of a party trick. But I think it makes for a shitty candle. Imagine if the same thing happened to the fire brigade. They're trying to put out a house fire and the house just disappears. Well, wherever the house is now, it's not on fire. We've done our job. But by far, the worst offender, the absolute worst offender of these types of phrases, I'm going to take a shit. Where? On a stroll around the park? I went for a leash for some reason. If you had it on a leash, you'd be able to see where you've been because of the 97-foot skid mark. You can carry it in your arms. It's normal for people to carry dog poo when they've got a dog. So, if you're by yourself, you should be allowed to carry your own poo. Just a little thought there. You're not going to take a shit. You're going to leave a shit. One sec. Ah, yes. Now, I've got some advice. Relationship advice. I know I'm only 18, so I can't have done that much, but if you're a heterosexual woman or a homosexual woman, you're going on together. So, I just want to say, blowjobs should be mandatory. It's only fair. Because all men have tried, but most men have failed to do it themselves. I, for one, I can't reach that far. There's just that bit of space there. I'm not hung like a donkey, so it's like there's like one or two vertebrae in the way of me getting to where I want to go. Do you think if men could do that, I would be here? Do you think you'd be here with your boyfriend? We'd be at home, sucking our own cocks. And rightfully so. There's this phrase going around now. YOLO. You only live once. A lot of people hate that phrase, but I really like it. YOLO is directly linked to natural selection. Because when someone says YOLO, it's more likely, it's most likely before they're about to do something really stupid. Perhaps they're about to drive 90 miles per hour into a brick wall. Perhaps they're about to light a firework in their arse to see if it'll shoot up and they can sneeze the explosion. Perhaps they're about to perform heart surgery whilst on MDMA, thinking this is the most fucked up game of Operation they've ever played. Perhaps they're about to floss their cunts with razor wire. Perhaps they're about to set a cat on fire and throw it at a police car. You only live once, Tibbles.
Yes, the influence of the EEC on some British industries. I want to do this one for a pal who made some very common comments about this, and this is for Alan. It's called The Fisherman's Life. My boat is moored in harbour more nights than she goes to work. My family all depend on me, but the thing that really hurts is that father's shrunk back in his shell, so now the boat is mine, though I know she slowly rots away below the waterline. My father still thinks he's a prosperous man and he's back in 52. when 5 good men and the captain made up a ship-shape crew. There were no quotas imposed on us, and brand new boat was sound, and the shores of Cod were mighty, and always easy found. It's true we had 5 men aboard before the EEC, but quotas cut us down to where we're now no more than 3. These waters need to turn, with white caps as far as you can go, for now we work with lobster pots, me and my cousin Joe. And never did we imagine that we'd work with a rod and line. Sometimes we'll take a shark if we're within our given time. Our mackerel lines are always out, sometimes we'll take a score, though we're not allowed to sell them on the harbour anymore. Boxed and frozen on the dock and bound for London town. Sold at market, then the same truck brings them all back down. And somewhere over a Brussels desk, it gets decided what is best. How much haddock, how much whiting, while on the deck, grown men are fighting over an 8-hour shift and who's to take it. And if the quota is nonsense, will they break it? Fish that are under a certain size have got to be thrown back, even though they're dead by then. Now where's the sense in that? With the grace of God, we'll go out today on the turning tide. Me and my cousin Joe will pray that we'll come back alive. Nowadays, more often, we go much further out. I think back to the days of drift nets and hear my father shout, "Shipping forecast not too good, in an hour we'll turn about." But we'd haul those nets in first and find them filled with silver fish. With a well-filled hold and a setting sun, what more could you wish? In those early days, gung-ho, we'd catch the morning tide. A 12-hour shift. I'll tell you now, that was no easy ride. On good days we'd even gut and fill the catch up on the deck. We were young and 12 hours on your feet had no effect. One day before too long, they'll write and say my hurry's hold. If I'm out already on the waves, then I won't need to be told. Joe and I wear our life jackets now almost all the time. Without we wouldn't stand a chance down in that freezing brine. And I feel it won't be long now before my boat goes down. I've seen the way the harbour master looks at me and frowns. I hope for the sake of cousin Joe we're not too far from shore, and I can pay the insurance bill for just a few months more. So when it finally happens, and I go overboard, I'm going to loosen off the knot on my life preserver cord. If I'm still alive when I hit the water, I'll swim the other way. My affairs are all in order, there's no more bills to pay. And I'd rather have a seaman's death than live like my old dad. An hour after breakfast he can't remember what he had. But I really do believe he gets more care than I could give. I'm taking a lungful of water now. This is as long as I want to live.
By a guy, American country and western guy called Chris Knight. Something like that. drink since the 93. Just sits in his yard and drinks iced tea. He ain't had a drink since the 93. He don't go to bar rooms or billiard halls. Tries to teach his boys to respect the law.